What's going on, guys? Welcome back to episode 15, picking up from the Black Knife Catacombs. So, with the Black Knife Catacombs, not only is this another undead catacomb, so, going in here with Sacred Blade or Holy can be quite beneficial, but it's also going to be your introduction to necromancers. So, sometimes, even if you kill the undead and hit them again while they're on the ground, they will come back to life, and that is simply because they're being controlled by a necromancer. So, until you kill him, they will not be able to get pulled out. So that was a regular one, right? We know that. However, most of them are going to be attached to necromancers, but just remember, not all, right? So this can throw you off, and you got to learn to read the difference. Like him, he's glowing, so that means we don't attack him. Instead, we're going to run past, get right over here to the left-hand side. Take this guy instead if we can get close. So now when you take him out, they all go. They hit you a couple times, okay, we'll do it, we'll be just fine. Who's behind us? Oh, they're stacking up arrow base. It's okay, we'll get back. So on the way back, we'll grab our glove work. And then pop this. So it doesn't go with our build, but like I told you guys, we're going to get all the items. We will have the stone sword keys to do so as long as you're buying them every now and then for merchants and, doing all the content in the game. Shouldn't be too hard to pop all these things. So this is more, at least for me, I'm doing the walkthrough. I'm going to show you guys all the items. So many people doing very different builds and stuff. This is going to go with like a death sorcery build. It's called the Rose's Axe. And what it does is you'll do like a overhead slam with your axe, then a skeleton from the left, from the right, and straight ahead will all come down for one solid hit as far as the actual war. Aside from that, you're getting magic and physical on the weapon. So it's a solid choice. Somber weapon, I just think there's better choices. But, it's a decent choice for now, I guess. I just wouldn't bring it up too much. If resources are rare, it's better weapons. So from here, we're going to go for a second trap. Take him out immediately. This is going to bring you on up to an optional area. This area could actually throw you off too because there's two boss fights. You might take one out, think you're done, then leave and miss, the whole back half of this place. Alright, so taking him, should take care of all these guys. It looks like we may have missed a drop here, so grab that. Probably from killing an enemy, but we'll get it. Yep. Alright, so from this point, you're going to have a illusionary wall and a hidden boss fight. Now, this area does connect to a quest line with Fia and Rogier and D. We covered this last episode, but if you haven't, you're not going to miss anything. You just want to make sure that is known. Technically, you're supposed to talk to them first. Now that we have, we find this place, and we're able to... These are regular ones. Put them down. Then we're going to smack this. Kind of wanting, at least temporarily. We need to keep on our other sword, but for this fight, I never realized you could summon. Who is that? Oh, D. It's not really involved with the quest, but it kind of is, because that goes with the undead stuff. So we'll summon D up. One thing I like about Elden Ring that's different is in the other Souls games, you have to be like embered up to use the summons within the game. That would be the same thing as like using a rune arc for your great booster in this game, but they don't make you do that, It's okay. If we fought one of them before, this one's just a lot better. I mean, not like super bad. She's definitely more dangerous. Now, all black types are females, if I didn't mention that before. As far as the lore, I thought that was pretty cool. That's why they're so graceful in their moves. Now, with them, we're kind of just locking her in place. Now, I've never used him before. Usually it's just a lot of dodging, a lot of blocking, but if he's here, for the walkthrough especially, let's use it. So, with that, you got the Assassin's Cerulean Dagger. Every time you do a critical blow, you'll get mana back. As the Crimson Dagger will give you health. The same thing. Then it's going to be a quest item for Fia and them, the Black Knife Prep, which this won't come for a bit. Now, this will send you back to the start, which I had no interest of doing until I looked at our heals. Alright. So, now that we have our heals back, we'll be going through it again. We're gonna do the same thing. You know, we're gonna go up through the same area because to actually get to the boss lever, we have to access a drop there. That's why I had no intention of resting. I didn't want to, but with everything that we're gonna face, we better. The same thing. Run out to the main room, take him. There's those other guys. Watch your trap. The second one is gonna bring us up. We'll get the items on the floor here on the way back. Him, take the first one out, and all the others will be attached to the next necromancer. If you get hit, it'll be okay, I think. They stay around for a minute, so you gotta be really, really careful here with your healing. Why in the hell? I only have one heal. I'm not running back again. I'm gonna push my damn luck. I guess I fast traveled and didn't rest. Either way, well, I'm gonna push my luck. You guys make sure you fucking rest. Obviously, so that was dumb, dude. Either way, as soon as you drop, make sure you turn around. For the life of me, I don't know why I'm saying either way 5 times in 2 seconds, but forgive me. When you initially drop down, make sure you turn around. That's gonna be your lever. There's a lever over here, but it's not for your boss door. This is a lever just to open the gate ahead. Now, this other skeleton doesn't come to life until you do this, so just be cautious. Now, you're going to have everything from little crabs to big crabs and a few items to grab. We'll just clear them all out. Even though they're not much of a threat, you got to remember, if you're locked on to the little guy, not the right one, it's going to cause trouble. Okay, spammy. Thank you. He is spamming the shit out of that button, so I'll look. Yeah, we just don't want our lock on grabbing the wrong enemy. That's what happens, you know. You're fighting a more elite enemy, a bunch of basic bobbies are around. For whatever reason, your character's targeting a little crab instead of a guy that's annihilating your health bar, so it's just safer to take him out. It's not worth much, but, you know, it's free souls, too. So as he's coming up, we're loading up the charge steps so we can get started on the platform. One thing I love about the Banished Knight's greatsword is the fact that even the light attacks do so well to stagger enemies. Like, you know, you can get critical attacks with just light attack. It's got a lot of oomph to it. So that's our last heal. We're kind of pushing our luck, but this is the area I was worried about. Aside from this, you got a few skeletons, and then you will also have just a couple items. But that's it. You know, that's it. This boss fight here is rather difficult. We've fought one of these guys before, but this one's different, so we'll take the time to rest. It's gonna be safer. So as we backtrack, we can now get to the boss. Keep in mind, in any catacomb or dungeon of any type, if you go in, until you kill the boss, you cannot fast travel, so if you want to rest, you quite literally have to run all the way out. If you want to leave, you quite literally have to run all the way out. Never wait. You. Alright. So you fought an enemy called the Cemetery Shade. This was back in Weeping Peninsula. It was just like a dark spirit. It's completely black, like a shadow. He teleports around. He has a green... I don't know. He summons like a green magic thing on his head that will lock you down. It's like these little claws that come out of his head, but it freezes you in place. Then I come up and just whack on you and hack on you with his curved swords, which do blood loss. That's really all he's doing, is just teleporting around and hacking on you with blood loss. It's not fun. You have to try to put him down as fast as you can. Now, I have never, ever tried this, but when I hear, it works quite well. Have we picked it up yet? Oh, no, we haven't got it yet. Okay, that's okay. Well, instead, let's go in here with Holy Shrouding. That'll boost our holy damage. And that's the big thing here, is he's going to be so weak to holy. But there's a tier for your blast that makes you explode. And it can take enemies down too. Someone told me that it'll rip through this guy. But the bigger thing here with these guys is he's got a lot of friends with him. So it's not just about taking him down. So you can either take down all the skeletons first, then try to focus on him. Or just take him down and they go with. So what we are going to do I never put on gold valve. Just make sure you're buffed up. Aside from that, we're gonna summon up some help for a distraction. Like I said, there's gonna be a few guys here. Oh, we went right for the green thing. That's what I was talking about. Yeah, look at her health. Look at her health. Yeah, he doesn't do it right away like that. That was odd. Look at what one. Yeah, you see what one light attack did though? Half his health. We'll get him. Like I said, it's really quite irritating, to say the least. We'll get it. It's rough, you know. It's really rough. It would also help to pop our Flask of Wondrous Physic. That way we have the Opaline Bubble Tier that could have helped us, at least a little bit. The fact of the matter is if he lands that whole combo on you, you're just dead. You know, there's not much you're going to do about it. Because the blood loss and it comes out so fast, even at fucking 45 health, or Talisman. Plus he did the special attack right away, and he got it again. Get out of it, get out of it, get out of it. Let's try to lower the numbers here. And all we really need on this guy is a few hits, that's it, just a few hits, because, look at that. You hit your acid ward twice, he's dead. Now, that's how it typically would play out, but if you just don't have the positioning, you don't have things lined up, it can be more difficult. So root resin, so we can craft our weapon buffs, such as your fire grease, and then we'll get our death root right here. Alright, so before we do anything else, we have accumulated a few death roots, so we're going to go back to the Bestial Sanctum and talk to Grink. I do believe it's after this point he spazzes out. So what happens is you give him the first few death roots, I think it's like 3 or 4, then he gets really angry and you have to fight him, and he's actually one of the hardest enemies in the game, and that's saying a lot. Trust me, the guy's very hard to beat, but you don't have to beat him all the way. You just got to do like a little damage to his health, and then he'll fuck off. So after this, we're not going to come back until we get, you know, quite a bit stronger, because that battle will ensue. But we're going to get a few more incantations. So that is Ashibor Beast Roar, just kind of lets you do a roar, you know, just going to scream out, shockwave, push enemies back. And then you have Bestial Vitality. So, as we mentioned, all the incantations you're getting from him is nothing more than a way for physical builds, strength, dex, you know, quality. So you guys have access to some incantations because they're all such a low cost. You know what I mean? Such a low cost. So as far as stat requirements. So it's just giving physical builds a few incantations. So most are survivability, some do some damage. Is that enough? Yes, it is. 18, 2 more levels. We're getting there. It takes a while. Either way, guys, with that wrapped up, that's a dead end from this point, right? And then everything else here, like the stuff you're seeing here, that's all that's really left. Like we've done, you know, all of this, but you're starting to see this little village back here, uphill, a church, and then the tower. This is all at the top. You cannot access it, so we're actually going to jump all the way back to East Raya Lucaria Gate, right? So the only way to do this is to do the road here, clearing everything out, and then you'd wrap around the cliff, and that sends you back up. That's why there's no point of going anywhere else. This is all done, everywhere we can reach. So if you have not followed along with the walkthrough, the only way to get here is the air current right here. We'd have to go all the way to this coast, follow it around, and you're going to see a collapsed pillar that will send you right here. So for everyone that has followed along, just jump on over to East Raya Lucaria Gate. So this is pretty cool. We're about to do another nighttime boss, who is another Knight's Cavalry. Well, that's not so cool. He's going to drop a absolutely outstanding weapon. It's a basic weapon, but it's probably the best halberd in the game, if not one of them. Keep in mind, it doesn't do no crazy status effects, although that's what ashes are for and affinities are for. So you're going to notice that Bach is now here.
Ready to make adjustments.
So we're going to go ahead and talk to him. Oh, I think we have to take out Radon first. Okay, we'll pick up this quest. It's nothing we can do right now. So, is it nighttime? It's so bright out. So now that it's night, let's go back to our other weapon. How many 4s do we have? 1. Okay, that's why I didn't bring a pass +3. So, either way, if you just get on the main road, go straight. This is going to be your Knight's Cavalry. So we've already fought this guy 1,000 times, but this time you actually get his halberd. That one he's using is super big and beefy, and it pairs well with so many aspects of the work. It's so nice to have. Yep. Get my buff on. If I get hit, I get hit. Remember, guys, health. The horse's health bar is what we're after. You will do damage to him as well, but as soon as we put that horse down, we're getting big damage on him with the critical. It makes it so hard to get to. That's why I find him so annoying, just running away. The cowardly shit he does all the time. Oh, we dove right into it. Let's heal again. You didn't even swing yet. How's that count? Good. That's so close. Don't get close to me or you're done. Thank you. This guy's so hard to get to, but his health almost makes him feel like he's lower level than the one we fought earlier. Taking him out is going to get you an action war called Giant's Hunt. It's for like spears and halberds that like thrust the weapon but upwards in the air, just like that picture looks. So it's good for bigger enemies. And the Knight Rider's Glaive, which we do not have the stats to use, otherwise I would be using it. It's so good, but you need a little bit more into strength. I think like 24, 25. We're not far off. So C scaling and strength E dex would work for quality. 26 strength requirement. We're a bit off. We could two-hand. I don't really like the two-hand moveset so much. I mean, it's viable. It works. It's just, really my thing. All in all, I think this weapon's really nice one-handed anyways, just with the shield, even though it's bigger, because it has more of a unique moveset for halberds. Instead of thrusting, you got all this going on, It's a really fun weapon. Nice speedy, charge, heavy attacks. It's an absolutely phenomenal weapon. You can use it the whole game, no problem. When I say that, you could use any weapon the whole game. What I mean by, like, you could use it and it's going to be good. It's going to get very good damage. Like, it holds up in the end game. Even though it's a basic weapon, it still holds up just as well as some somber weapons. Because there's only a limited amount of basic weapons, I feel like, that can hold up to the same damage late game as, the more unique somber weapons. There's some, but it's not like it's every one. You're not going to get to the end of the game with fucking Lord Sword and Short Sword and think it's easy playtime, because it's just not the case. Alright guys, so from here what we're going to be doing is going back to this church. So we went here earlier at the start to get a sacred tear. Well, now Hyetta has moved here. We've already given her the 3 superior grapes. If you have missed out on this, go back a few episodes. We've covered it all in the same episode. But once you give her the 3 superior grapes, she's going to want a fingerprint grape, which is going to send us uphill. So we just need to really make a pit stop with her there. Then we're going to go over here for a pretty decent camp, clear that out, get a scarab right here, grab your deck to lift Side of Grace, then shoot uphill. So if you guys want to honestly put checkpoints, I mean, we're going straight there. It already has one. We don't need it. There's like a chest over here. We'll grab, probably won't be doing first. Let's say camp. Then we got our scarab. Then we got our chest. And then we'll just zoom back uphill here. So we just follow them in order. We haven't used markers much, and that's what I said, because it's like we kind of just clearing areas next to sites of grace. But having multiple stops, that, just makes it more of a thing, I guess. More of an option. But yeah, if I don't find a need for them, why confuse people? We can't go and clear these assholes out. With this being the Urnia, those bigger soldiers, you're going to notice they're using magic buffs. They have, like, glintstone pebbles are shooting at you. And just because they're melee builds, they're still using a lot of magic stuff, too. So Sanctuary Stone, then just whatever these guys drop. The Sanctuary Stone was the only guaranteed item. Now we can get back on the path of the church, because that was all that was really right there. What's good about this episode is we finally get a main weapon that we could use until we get the true main weapon we're going to use for the build. So, like I said, we're doing Strength Faith build, but our weapon doesn't come to about mid-game when a lot of the builds are going to get their main weapon. Until that point, we all have weapons that are good that we could use as a main weapon to that point, even the whole game if you like. The weapon we're going to be picking up is more Dex Faith, but as long as we're leveling Faith, we're going to get good scaling. So I did want to talk about that because we've been just kind of using basic weapons or switching to Bloodhounds, which is more quality. Our weapon is coming this episode, and then that will carry us until we get up top here, and that's where we get the main weapon. So we'll have it for like the back half of the game. And then like intelligence builds around that time, the end of the underground, you guys get your main weapon. Arcane, that's the time you guys get your main weapon. So quality build's the only one that's got a weapon from start to finish. Everyone else half the game, that's not bad. You still have a lot of time to use it, right? But until then, we're just trying to find the best options for our build. Either way, getting here, talking to Hyetta. She's going to ask you for fingerprint grape, which we're about to go get her.
There, please. Without one, I don't.
Alright, and then I think we've already rested. Let's be sure. But yeah, I did want to just bring up a weapon, like I said. There's not so much you've done with the build. You know, we're almost, 15 hours into the game at this point. You know, it takes a while. Game's big. You know, it just takes a long time. So from here, what I like to do personally when it comes to this area, because this is the first time you have a camp that has like multiple different sections, instead of like just one area with barricades, there's going to be catapults trained on you. So staying to the far left helps with that, but there's actually going to be parts of the camp on the left side of the road, parts of the camp on the right side of the road, so I believe there's less action on the left, so it's better to go this way. You know, less enemies are going to gang up on you, because you got the big old fire cart. On top of that, you have pretty big soldiers that are using magic, foot soldiers, so going into the left, there's not as many guys, will make things a little bit, simpler up to stagger. Thank you. Buddy, learn your place. Learn your place. Alright, so that's most of the left side. Still a few guys who got it. If he wants to call these guys over, even better. You know, help us put them down. If they gang up on you, it's a good time for your weapon art. That's the other thing, too. If you're a new player, weapon arts aren't meant to be spam, guys. They're supposed to be learned in combat. Because if you do that all the time, you're going to run out of mana. And then if you haven't learned to get better, and you don't have that weapon art, you're probably going to have some trouble if you haven't picked up on the combat. You know, it's not infinite mana here. So I do feel like that's worth a mention. I don't judge, you know, that's not how you're meant to play it. I know they're powerful, but they need to be spaced out or you will run out of uses when you really need them. However, fighting big enemy or you're being surrounded, they work quite well for that, right? That's a good way to just get everybody off your ass. I can come over, okay, get off me, yeah, and that's what they're for. I don't tell people how to play, so we ain't really spoke on it, but I do know you will run out of mana. Even though it's just a weapon attack, it does cost mana to use, just like a spell. Alright, so I showed you guys how to kill them before. Because we got in the back. Although it seems simple, it's really not because he has a shit ton of health. There it is. That's probably the biggest threat dealt with. Now we can go to the far side of the camp. And we'll go ahead and just clear the whole camp instead of going to our number 1 first. I'm sorry. That was for the camp right now. Before we go for number 2, we'll go for number 3 down here because that's all that's here, just a chest and, you know, loose item. Then we'll just go grab our scarab, Dectus, and then head up. There's no sense of backtracking if we don't really have to, you know what I mean? Alright, so just straight across the street. We have a few more guys here. Bye, horse. Bye, soldier. Buddy, your windup is too long. That's why you get killed. Gotta get them moved out. So here's a pretty cool basic weapon for strength. It's like the great base. It's not super long. but it is pretty fucking beefy. Will work really nice with some Ashes of War. Where are you? Should be right on here. Oh, right here. So 28 strength requirement. Look at it though. Make it pretty cool, like frostbite mace, like Dark Souls 3, or fire mace. So just another option more than anything else. And aside from that, heading towards our 3 marker, because the chest was actually part of the camp, but there's another item we need to grab. You're eventually going to see a little drop-off sign right around here. Ooh, drop is bigger than I remembered. Okay, we lived through it. That's all that matters. And there you go. There's your rune arc, then that will circle you back around to the church. So no need to go that way. What we're going to be doing now is going for that number 2 marker. So we'll go ahead and get rid of number 3. The number 2 marker is just to the left of Dectus Lift. Now, talking about the Dectus Lift. So the Dectus Lift will bring you up to the Altus Plateau, right? And like I said, from there, it's pretty much the back half of the game. So we're not going to be doing this yet. I am going to take you guys here shortly in an episode or two. Because it's part of a quest. It's just one thing we're going to do there quickly. We're not going to touch anything else at all. This is important. But we do need to show you guys how to do very specific quests offline. Everybody knows the online mode offline is very obscure, but this is very important. Svaria's quest, which takes you to like an end-game area as a reward so that you get like a somber 10. So very beneficial to the walkthrough, letting you guys, just really nice set up. So we'll have to go up there for that, but typically we don't want to touch Altus until all the underground's done, Caelid, the Earnia, all of it, right? But this is how you access it. Now, there are multiple different ways to get to Altus if you have done all the content. There's like a way you can sneak in. Other than that, you'll need the Dectus Lift, and then there's a side quest that will take you here. So there's a few different ways to reach it. But for now, what we are going to do is go on up so we can grab our Site of Grace, make it easier. So that's just a big-ass lift that takes you up. There's a few in the game. Because you have all your lower areas, then you go up to Altus, then after you complete the capital, there's another lift that brings you up to the mountaintop of the Giants. It's about as cool as it sounds, and it is. It's really cool. But yeah, you just keep, like, climbing mountains and climbing mountains. Like, you think that you have to start, like, oh, damn, we've uncovered the map for the whole game. No. You've not even uncovered the maps for a third of the game. Probably a third. There's just so much more because you have all the underground regions, which like there's one here, 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 there's one under the capital. So you have all that, and then you have like Mount Gelmir, Altus Plateau, the capital, the transitional zone in between. Was it the Forbidden something? But there's a transitional zone in between the capital and then the lift, and then that takes you up to mountaintops of the Giants. Then you have the Consecrated Snowfield. Then you have the Halig Tree, and then after that you have Ferrum Azula, and then the capital again. So I'm just telling you, it's fucking massive, guys. It's massive. Alright, now it's the hard part. So as we go up here, there's going to be a Madness Village. Everyone there is inflicted with Madness, so as the attack go build up. There's also a Madness Tower. So this part is very, very particular how we have to do this. This is not easy if you don't do this just right. So if you can see that tower straight ahead. Forgive me, I was trying to hit my drink. But if you see that tower straight ahead, there are these casters who are summoning up like a Madness Sun, and it inflicts madness all the way back here on you, right? So what you got to do is if it builds up and knock up the horse, do a bunch of health damage, and on top of that, it's going to do damage to your mana. They go take mana away, so if you get hit, what you got to do is heal through it fast. Now if you notice, we dropped off the cliff to the left instead of going straight. I'm going to show you why. It's going to make it so much easier to deal with this. So take your Spirit Spring straight up. Now all you're doing is riding straight. And you could cleanse madness too. I don't think we found the items to do this yet. So take it straight, get your Site of Grace quickly. That way if you die, you do not have to do that huge, horrible run back. Now before we go after any items or do anything else, we're shutting this tower down. You only have to do it once, it doesn't come back. So once you kill the guys up here, that's it, that is it. Let's pop our Wondrous Physic, get our Oakley Bubble Serum. So once you're right under it, it won't affect you, by the way. But that's going to help us out with the rats at least. So it's probably best to kill the rats first, or you can ignore them and run for the ladder. If the rats hit you and the madness goes off, you're just dead. So be very aggressive, put them down as fast as humanly possible like we did. And you notice, as we're climbing the ladder under, this is not affecting us, like, at all. Like, it is not affecting us at all. Only if you're away from the tower. This right here would be a Madness Incantation. And Madness is another really obscure build. Mainly Dex based, but it can go Strength based too. There's not many options for it, but you get a few Madness spells. And then, aside from that, you'll have a Madness weapon. If you go to the DLC, you can make a real Madness build that way, but, you know, that's a long time away. Either way, once you kill these guys, that's it. You know, that's it. That Madness Tower is not just shut down, it's shut down for good. So, with that, we can jump back to Frenzied Flame Village Outskirts. Because there was that main trail that we ignored with a few little loose loots. It's nothing crazy, a couple arrows, a couple, you know, items, but we do want to get it. So what we're going to do is just go straight southwest to the main road, and we're going to take a right, heading back towards the tower. But we're going to stay on the dirt trail this time, so we can grab our smithing stones, our arrows, and our other items. So the arrows are actually right here, just kind of tucked on the right, which that would have took you on over to the tower too. And on the main path, and there are a bunch of rats, fight them if you want to, I don't really think it's needed. Yeah, they're just kind of out in the open world. So there's the smithing twos, and that should have a spot up to full. I mean, they think they're tough, you know, smack them around a bit. Alright, from here, you can't really get lost, but if you guys want to pull up the map, all we're doing is taking a main road right into this village, and then that's actually gonna wrap around uphill to this church. It looks so weird on the map, but because this is over you, it's not a wall, it's like a bridge, so you go into the village, clear it, and then you go up like that. So, like I said, you put markers if you want, but you can always tell the churches. You'll see the little, you know, the square figure there. So, either way, when we're here, we are going to clear these enemies out. There's talismans, there's items, cookbooks, and things we are going to want. There's only a few soldiers. Most of them are like the worshippers, we'll call them, the madness worshippers. So, there is a outer god. We know the three fingers. There's an outer god called the two fingers. He's like the madness god. And that's who they're praying. This ties into one of the hidden endings that we'll cover in time. But that's why you always see him like worshiping and, you know, stuff like that. Lord of the Frenzied Flame. So frenzied cookbooks, which will allow you to craft some of those items. It's also important to mention how madness works is similar to Deathblight. There's even a few spells you have Deathblight. The thing about it is Deathblight does not work with PvE. It does not work against basic enemies in the game. It only works with PvP, so fighting with players. However, if like our weapon we're about to get does madness, but it still gets fire damage, you'll still get that build up on enemies, just not the madness itself. It can be a bit confusing if you don't know, I guess. I don't know, it's kind of easy to understand, but your first Souls-like, there's already a lot of learning you have to do in general. I mean, from the stats to weight limit, I mean, there's a lot going on, you know, a lot. So from here, we're going to head on up. Now, as you curve around, there's going to be an area over here to the left-hand side, and there's a few things to do here. But what we're going to do is ignore that and do it on the way down, because as soon as you get over here, you're about to get kicked off your horse and be invaded. This is Viking. So, as soon as you are kicked off your horse to save or run back, what we're going to do is ignore Vike as he comes in. We'll buff up with Blood Flame. We're going along with the recommended build and the setup we have right now. You know, Blood Flame Blade, I'm sorry, Bloodhound's Fang with Blood Flame Blade can help out. But we want the Side of Grace in case we get killed. And then having Bloodloss on this guy will help. He's going to be building madness on, you know, on you. So it can build on you in PvE, just not the other guys. Don't you love how fair that is? He does so much damage. He's got like laser beams coming out of his eyes. He's got a lot of AoEs. If you catch him, you can't smack him out of it. That's just it. catch nothing. See what madness does? It locks you in place. So how the hell are we alive? He only has one heal, so it's fine. We even got blood loss off yet. Let's get our mana back. Stay behind the pole. Damn, he's knocked the stone, y'all. That was wild. Alright, just stay on him. You know, stay on him. Yeah, madness will lock you in place. The big burst, because you're overloaded, so it locks you down, takes a huge amount of your health, similar to blood loss. Then on top of that, it also drains your mana. It's a very nasty status. However, guys, we're taking him out. We picked up Vike's War Spear. So this is something that will carry us until we get our main weapon. Although I'm not a fan of spears, the heavy attack. So it's thrust on light attack, which I'm not the biggest fan of. But it's just a big, solid, beefy spear that does fire damage, does physical damage. Then the heavy attacks do give us swipes. A really nice charge. I mean, it's just an absolutely phenomenal weapon. You know what I mean? You're able to hide behind your shield, block all damage, get your damage off. But when you feel it, when you're swinging this around, you feel it's just a nice, heavy, you know, beefy-ass weapon. But not too heavy, so we still have our weight. But the heavy attacks give you really, really nice swipes. So I think that makes up for it for me. Now, this is Dex Faith. So if you like this, this weapon is one of the very few weapons in the game that does 800 AR or over with not being a colossal weapon. So it's very high damage output. But this is Dex Faith. Now, we could level Dex Faith and then just respec into Strength Faith when we get our weapon. But, I mean, that's up to you. I think as long as we're bringing Faith way up, we're okay. Just know if we get this off, we're going to be 3 levels short to use this weapon. So, by the time this comes off, we get our main weapon. So it should line up. So we'll still be, you know, pushing up Faith, pushing up Strength. Or, like I said, we can go Dex, but Strength Faith is what we're after. Dex Faith for the DLC for sure, but for now, Strength Faith. Yeah, you will need three levels in the Dex. It's an 18 Dex requirement, I do believe. Let's be sure here. No, 18 Faith, 20 Dex requirement. Yeah, so I don't think it's going to be worth it unless we just lean Dex Faith until we get our sword. You know, either way. So it's just worth the mention. Because since I take that off, bam, no shield, no weapon. You know, that's why we got to keep working on these levels. Because there's going to be a point where we want to take this off. However, guys, with mentioning all of that, let's look at our stones. I still have all of them. I'm probably going to go ahead and bring this up to +4. I want to bring it up to +5 because we're going to stick with it. We're not going to get our weapon before we find more +5s. And I've picked up all of this for you guys, and I think you very much should. But, you know, it just seems a little high for right now. I guess it's right, though, because you get a Somber 5 here, so maybe we will. I hate to think that I have more damage than any other player, but honestly, if you followed along, we should all be on the same page anyways. So he's going to have more dialogue here once you reached Liurnia and got past Godric. We just never went over it, so you'll see that play out here. About prayer.
Well.
No, yeah, we'll go for +5 bucket, because everyone, I mean, that's why you should follow along, so we could all have the same stuff. So still plenty for that. Did I ever upgrade them? So as long as you have 24, that's 2 weapons. Let's go ahead and go through our +2s for that. +3s we'll hold off on. That way our spells are hitting as hard as our spear. You know, this is important. But even right now, our weapon is sitting here doing almost 400 AR. Not bad, you know, not bad. It is halfway upgraded, but that's before scaling even comes to play, right? So something to keep in mind. Either way, guys, now that we have that done, let's go ahead, throw out our Sacred Tear we just picked up. And then we still have a few more things to do. So at this time, I mean, everything's done besides this tower, which you cannot do that yet because you need a secret gesture that comes from a quest, which is after Raya Lucaria. So it's like one of the last things we do before we leave the Liurnia. We just can't do it. There's a puzzle to it we can't solve. The only thing that's left is that little middle layer I said hold off on. So we're going to knock that out, which will take you over to these gravestones for more runes. So it's just this right here. And then this, just to finish up the Lucaria Crystal Tunnel. We ran there in our early runaround to get you guys a few upgrades, but we never did it. So we have our tunnel in this little area. Then this whole side is knocked out in full. So best thing to do is jump back to Church of Inhibition. Aside from this, the Church of Inhibition has other things going on that we need to come back to later for a quest. You're going to notice there's a maid in here. That's part of Vari's quest, so we already have this unlocked and ready to go. You know, it's important. What we're going to be doing now is shooting back on down and, you know, knocking out these other things we got to do. Just go on down to the right. This is all madness. This whole area is madness. So the flowers here are going to be putting up like madness pollen. The rats are doing madness. Everybody's doing madness. So look at that. Fire every hit. Absolutely OP. Also a scarab here that's going to give you another madness spell. One of the ones Spike was using. So what it's going to do is give you the little laser beams that come out of your eye. Very potent. Don't let you get away. Okay, so if he gets away, you're going to have to, unfortunately, quit out and load back in. Very similar to your crystal lizards within Dark Souls. And there you go. So you kind of have everything you need to put together early game madness build. Frenzy Burst, then the other Frenzy incantation we picked up, I always forget the name of, and then obviously by explosion. Oh yeah, I didn't even show you the best part. Damn Astral War. We might be dead here. Yeah, the Astral War is a really, really powerful AoE. What this does, as you saw, you jump up, you land down with this huge explosion that actually does leave fire on the ground for a time. Yeah, he does this shit forever too, man. Look at this. For me, it just seems like it gets to a point where you're just doing too much from soft. I get the special attack, but does it have to last this long? That's a little ridiculous, to say the least. You know, you're not doing special attack again, bro. Yeah, he hates that fire. How the hell is Buddy not got staggered? 19,000 charge heads. It's okay. The reason I'm taking this one out is because all the pollen bullshit. Yeah, that's crazy. Thank you. That's why I've never seen it take that many charge heavies. The only way that ever happens if you space out your charge attacks too much, you won't break this dagger, but it was back to back to back to back, you know, so should have went off. Now from here, the only really thing happening is down there to the left. That's where all your gravestones are, and you're going to be covered in madness flower. I would go around and pick up the root resin and stuff here though, guys. Yeah, so we're covered in that pollen and all that bullshit again. We're not going to take these guys out. We're probably just going to deal with the madness to get it over and done with, as we still have the tunnel to hit. But towards the bottom, and this can be seen on the map, you'll see the gravestones. You can't find it. Like I said, there's a lot of flowers over here. It's just going to take too long to go through and clear them all out before we grab the items. The first guy's kind of in your way. Not much, but enough. Justify killing him. Alright, so there's our madness. But we almost got it all. Think on this. Okay. Yeah. I'm not doing the back-to-back shit. Alright. That should be your last one. So now what we're going to do, and look at your mana. Every time that procs, you lose all your mana. So it just burns through your resources. It locks you down. Burns through your health. I mean, it's fucking sucks, dude. Madness is horrible. Thankfully, we don't deal with it much throughout the game. It's only a couple places, this being one. Either way, on your way back, what you're looking for is the battlements. That little wall surrounding the village. Because we could actually jump down on top from this location. Yep, right here. And get you a stone sword key. It's going to be right here. And once you have that, you are fully wrapped up with everything. This whole side is done. The only thing left is your regular Lucaria Crystal Tunnel. So this is where we're going over. If you don't have this yet, you weren't following along, you're just going to have to go down in the water and get to it. You know, we picked this up during the walkthrough, so we're just going to pick up where we left off and, you know, keep moving forward. So we have this because when we did our early run around at the start of the game, I wanted to get you guys a few upgrades. And we were 3 smithing 3 short, so we came here for that. So these guys are very weak to fire, as you're going to see. You're going to get a somber right there. Then behind here, you're going to pick up another somber. I think it's a 1 and 2. These were in earlier notes. I don't remember which. It may have been a 2 and a 3. So don't hold me to it, but I can tell you they're there. I do want to check our time on this time. 15 minutes. We're good. It's your biggest tunnel for sure that you've seen thus far, but pretty manageable. You know what to do. Just take him out. Crystals are crafting ingredients, but to my memory, the only thing you can really craft with them is it comes like super late. I mean, like very, very late. We'll take him. Now this part is very tricky. You will probably die to falling more right here than any boss up to this point if you don't know what to do. So we're gonna slowly jump to the first, carefully jump to the second, carefully jump to the third. Now this is where you have to switch up your tactics. You have 2 choices, because you don't have enough room to run. So you either try to walk off that little beam and jump across, which I have done. That is very hard. Or you could jump. While you're in the air, you're going to hit the run button. And then when you land, you're holding it down. And then if you just push forward, you'll be in a running state. So I'm jumping, hold run, land, I'm still holding it. I move forward, I jump. You see that? Puts you in a running formation. So little things you learn around the way. You got to remember, there wasn't a true dedicated jump button in like Dark Souls. You had to run and then click L3. It just wasn't like, oh, hit X. You know what I mean? So these are kind of things I learned going through this game, Elden Ring, right? Play around. Just like with fight, everyone thinks, oh, light attacks, heavy attacks, that's it. No, you have roll attack forward. You have roll attack heavy. You have jump back. And every weapon adds more. Some do different things, you know. So you have roll forward, light, heavy, back, light, heavy, jump, light, jump, heavy. Some 2-handed attacks are different with heavy attacks. You have, you know, running. You have running. You see that? So there's a lot more. It just depends on the weapon. There's so much to combat. It's not as simple as you might think. I did want to point that out because we haven't, you know, while we're kind of on the mechanics note. Alright, so now we get down here. Remember, there are 2 guys that are kind of spamming you with Flintstone Pebbles. One's right here. The other's like right under him. Quickly, quickly, and then right here. Right behind. Don't tear you up. Don't tear you up. Alright. So, personally, I would recommend taking them down first, right? But if you go straight down the stairs, come straight to this dead-end tunnel, smithing 3 will be right here. Right here in this body will be another smithing 3. Then you can just run straight across. There should be like a smithing 3 in the wall over there. You know, that was the 3rd one. We got the 2 there at the start and then 1 back there. And then we haven't went any further because we weren't actually doing the tunnel, right? Just to grab a few smithing 3s we were short. But with that, we are caught up. So moving forward here, let's go and turn our lamp too if we have it. I think I forgot. But there's going to be a drop point. This one's a little bit different than the other ones you've seen because this leads you straight through. Then if you follow it around to the left, yes, the left, you have a somber. Somber 2. And what's nice, you found quite a few somber 1s and 2s. You haven't really seen many 3s or 4s. But you will be able to pick up a 3 going through here. Then the later we get into the area, like the deeper we get in the zone, you actually find a 4 and a 5 even. It's wild. It's wild, but you really got to work for it. Alright guys, so with that, we got our drop-off, so we head straight on forward. Usually this is about where you run into the boss, but as you see, there's more, right? There's more. Go to your left, take him. I want to be really careful here too, guys. Good news is, if you're worried about this place, you're having a hard time for whatever reason, we're almost to a shortcut. So if you made it this far, and you die, you'll be able to run right back to this point. I'm not going to worry about the smithing stones down there. Take him. We'll take him. Get that smithing stone. Send this down, but don't ride it. Or send it, is it up? Yeah, send that up, but don't ride it. Roll off, turn around. Smithing 3. So that's that lift. It was way back to the start. So like I said, if you die, there you go. You're set up. So when we get up here, you're going to have quite a few marionettes. Sometimes he comes out, sometimes he doesn't, which is why I didn't call it. But these guys hanging, just trying to make life a little bit easier. We all know they're going to spaz the fuck out. It's going to be a real headache. So I think it's worth a little bit of mana. Let me go on into our first room, roll on through. Smithing. So you got 3 1s, 1 2. Oh, yep. Thought I saw something in the corner of my eye. And then swords on the back side. Well, there's one in this room hanging. I thought there was more hanging. Maybe it's just those 2. Okay, even better. So going in here, there's one hanging right behind you. You see him? And then you have these gentlemen as well. What I'll typically do is try to rush him. Oh, did not get backstab. Get him. There you go. Even though you should play Souls-like's more methodical, sometimes it pays to be super aggressive. Crystal Knife is for someone that wants to do like a dagger build, but for intelligence, another very obscure build type. And you could always just use affinities and add magic damage to like the Mazic Ward, which would probably be better at the end of the day. But you know, if you're two-handed daggers for intelligence, it's a fine choice. It's a somber weapon, so I should tell you. Now, what I will typically do if I have this weapon, I think it's fun. These guys are all kind of crowded together. You know, and it's just kind of fun. Just try to AoE them to death. Take him. There's Big Boy. The Big Boy can be a real problem. That's actually a spell he was doing. You guys can get that spell. There's 2 versions of it. It comes from the diggers. One we're gonna get here, and one we get in Caleb. So it's just, you know, spell for intelligence. It's pretty cool though. That's exactly what it does. That you kind of like dig into the dirt and do an explosion. AoE. Using your staff, of course. It's not like from a weapon. It's, you know, straight up spell. Not Ash of War, so no one gets confused. Kind of just cleaning house at this point. Alright, so go on through, pick up your spell right here. That's Shattered Earth. That's what that guy's doing. And as mentioned, like, there's going to be a better version of that later, but that is what you just saw being used. Alright, now when you get here, oh, I thought I was going to miss it. There you go, there's a Somber 3 I was referencing. And we just roll on off. Alright, so this next fight, a lot of people struggled with. It's not hard, it's just they didn't know his weakness. This guy is weak to strike or blunt damage, and that's it. He's resistant to everything else. So he's like a crystal guy. Not really a mage, but you know, he's just made of crystal. He's got like a disc he'll throw at you and try to smack you with, and can do a lot of damage. The thing of it is, you can't hurt him unless, I mean, you can. It just takes a long time. So if you had any kind of mace that you did reach the requirement for, I don't think we do with the other one now, or anything with strike. That's what you want, right? Strike, blunt, same thing. So right here, Morningstar, unupgraded Morningstar will be better than anything else. I know it sounds absurd. Check it out. It's because of the type of weaknesses he has and the type of resistances he has. So what you're doing with strike, look at that. You see it's actually doing damage? 143. Check this out. 17. Because it's not a strike weapon. Look at that. I already staggered him. Like usually, even with the weapon he's not really susceptible to, what would happen is after you break his stance, he'll start taking regular damage at that point. Just go in, Morning Star, charge heavy, guard counter, charge heavy, whatever you got, and that's it. As you see, we pretty much just stun locked him too. And taking him out will get you your first bell bearing. We've talked about bell bearings a few times. You have the Twin Maiden Husks, which are those like twin creepy looking ladies around table hold. It was your merchant. I said we'd be able to upgrade their shop once we get bell bearings, so that is exactly what that's for. So before we close out, we're going to jump on over to round table hold, as that does conclude that whole right side of the map. So we are good there. We'll go ahead and grab a level if I have enough. I know it's getting close. Ooh, like 700-800 short. Pop 2 just in case. That's the best way to use them, just like if you're a little bit short, instead of popping a bunch at once for levels like we did at the very start for a little health. You want to just save them up, and then when you're like a couple hundred short, a couple thousand short, that's, makes it easier to get more levels as you go through. So either way, getting here, offer smithing, miner's bell bearing 1. Now you have infinite smithing 1s and 2s. So you get pretty much like every time you get to a region besides Lemgrave, you'll get this. So the first one gets us infinite 1s and 2s, then 3s and 4s, then 5s and 6s, then 7 and 8s. And then your ancient dragonsmith and stone are limited. Then your ancient somber dragonsmith and stone are limited. But by the time we get to the end of the game, you'll be able to buy infinite amounts of every smith and stone 1 through 8 and every somber stone 1 through 9. So it sets you up quite nicely. I popped the levels but never spent them. Alright, we do have enough. So we got one more level. Then we hit that 20 mark. Then we can start bringing up faith. We can start bringing up strength or dex. As mentioned here, strength faith build, said it before. But we might benefit more just doing dex faith for now. And then when we get our weapon, we'll just respec over. Because we'll be able to respec a bunch in this game. But either way, guys, with that wraps, like I said, that's going to wrap up the whole area. So, as mentioned, because of the quests and things, how they line up, you have to do Liurnia in a very specific manner. And just to state, the only thing left is this the tower over here. But like I said, you can't do that until after Ray of Lucaria because it's a puzzle and we need something. But after you do the right side, we want to do the bottom of the lake, left side of the lake. I'm sorry, the whole left coast, top of the lake, then Ray of Lucaria. So to that end, next episode, it would make the most sense to pop over to Liurnia Lake Shore. Alright guys, so with that we will go ahead and wrap on up. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the recommended build, you like your new weapon, you like your new spells. But with that we are going to close on out, so we will catch y'all back here next episode to take out the lower portion of Liurnia.